first please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Orang-utan classification and evolution. The orang-utan is one of the largest primates in the world and is the only member of the great ape family that is found outside of Africa. There are 3 species of orang-utan found in the steamy jungles on the islands Borneo and Sumatra, which are the Bornean orang-utan, the Sumatran orang-utan and the Tapanuli orang-utan. The Bornean orang-utan is more numerous and widespread than its cousins on Sumatra, with 3 distinct subspecies of Bornean orang-utan found in differing geographic regions on the island. Orang-utans are one of the closest living relatives to modern humans, and we in fact share 96.4% of our DNA with these forest-dwelling apes. The 3 species are actually so similar in both behavior and appearance that their name orang-utan in their native Malaysian communities literally means person of the forest. All 3 species of orang-utan are today severely affected by human activity in their native habitats and are listed by the IUCN on their red list as critically endangered. Orang-utan anatomy and appearance. The orang-utan is a large arboreal animal, which means that it spends the majority of its life high in the trees and therefore have evolved some very special adaptations to make living in the forest easier. As the orang-utan is simply too heavy to leap like a monkey, they use their long arms to swing on the tree branches until they can get close enough to grab onto the next one. The hands and feet of the orang-utan are both equally effective at grasping onto branches, and their opposable thumbs also make their nimble digits very dexterous. The Bornean orang-utan tends to be slightly larger in size than the Sumatran orang-utan, which is more lightly colored along with having a longer beard than its cousin. Tapanuli orang-utans are similar in appearance to the Sumatran orang-utan but have frizzier hair, smaller heads, and flatter faces. Male orang-utans develop fleshy cheek pads as they mature. But these are much more pronounced on the faces of male Bornean orang-utans, and all 3 species also have a throat pouch that is used to make deep calls that echo through the forest. Orang-utan distribution and habitat. Although orang-utans would have once been found on a number of the forested, tropical islands in Indonesia, today they are confined to just 2, which are the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. Their tree-dwelling lifestyle means that orang-utans prefer dense tropical forests in the lowlands where there is an ample and varied supply of food. Along with also being found in hillside forests, in valleys and around peat swamps, there are a number of isolated populations on both islands that are found in the high mountain jungles at much higher altitudes. The Bornean orang-utan is found in 3 remaining locations on Borneo, but the Sumatran orang-utan now only inhabits the very northern tip of Sumatra, with the majority of wild individuals being found in just 1 province. The Tapanuli orang-utan is found in a remote region in northwestern Sumatra, with the entire population found in an area just 1,000 square kilometers. All 3 species, however, are severely threatened by the drastic decline of their habitats, which have been deforested for timber or cleared for agriculture. Orang-utan behavior and lifestyle. There are 2 big differences between orang-utans and other great apes, which are the fact that they are solitary and that they spend almost all of their lives high in the trees. The large size of the orang-utan means that it moves very slowly through the forest, but often because they spend so much of their time foraging for and eating fruits in the surrounding trees. They make nests to sleep in at night high in the canopy by folding branches over and padding them out with leaves to ensure a comfortable night. Although they do have their own patches of forest, orang-utans are not particularly territorial and will even tolerate feeding together around trees that have an abundance of ripened fruits. Sumatran orang-utans seem to be more sociable than Bornean orang-utans. Male orang-utans, though, will make their presence known by producing loud long calls using their throat pouches to both intimidate rival males and to attract a female to mate with. Orang-utan reproduction and life cycles. After a gestation period that lasts for around 9 months, the female orang-utan gives birth to a single infant in a special nest built high in the trees. Young orang-utans cling onto their mother's hair to stay secure whilst she is moving through the trees in search of food, and are not fully weaned until they are 3 years old. However, orang-utans will remain with their mother until they often 7 or 8 years old, as she teaches them the skills they need to survive in the forest. This includes both learning about what plants to eat and where they can be found, and also involves them being taught how to use tools such as sticks and leaves to make life easier. The orangutan is one of the most slow-developing mammals on the planet that cannot breed itself until it is between 12 and 15 years old. Females tend to have a maximum of 3 offspring during their life, which means that in areas where populations have been affected by hunting or habitat loss, they take a very long time to recover. Orangutan diet and prey. The orangutan is an omnivorous animal, but although does eat a mixture of both plant and animal matter, the majority of their diet is comprised of numerous types of fruit. Their large size and frugivorous nature means that orangutans must spend most of their day eating, which is possibly the reason why they have evolved to being semi-solitary animals. Despite the fact that orangutans do move throughout large home ranges, they have their own patch of forest nonetheless that tends to contain the perfect amount of food to sustain that individual, or a mother with young. Orangutans eat both ripe and unripe fruits including mangoes, lychees, durian and figs, which grow in abundance in some places and are where a number of individuals may meet up to feed. When there is a good fresh water source, the orangutan collects it in its cupped hands, then drinks it as it falls, but they don't need to drink too much as they get the majority of the moisture that they need from their food. Orangutan predators and threats. Historically, orangutans on both Borneo and Sumatra would have been threatened by a number of large, ground-dwelling carnivores, which is possibly why they have evolved to lead an almost completely arboreal life. Large felines such as tigers and clouded leopards are the primary predators of the orangutan, along with crocodiles and the occasional large Asian black bear. However, due to drastic deforestation in both Malaysia and Indonesia, the population numbers of the orangutan's predators have fallen drastically, with some being even more endangered today than the orangutans themselves. Humans are by far the biggest threat to the remaining orangutan populations, as they have not only destroyed much of their unique forest homeland but also hunt and capture the young that are then sold into the exotic pet trade. Orangutan interesting facts and features. The orangutan is a very distinctive animal in the tropical Indonesian forests, with its bright, red and orange hair leading to it also being known as the red ape. The orangutan is not only the largest tree-dwelling animal in the world, but it is also one of the most intelligent. In order to make the most of the seasonal changes in the tropical rainforest, orangutans are known to make a mental map of where the different fruit trees are and when they will bear their ripened fruits. Like a number of other great apes, orangutans are also known to use tools to facilitate their lives in their jungle, often using sticks and branches to collect honey from beehives or extract ants and termites from inside hollow trees. Although the exact tool skill set seems to depend on individual populations, they are really quite remarkable, with some orangutans actually known to use large leaves as an umbrella to keep the worst of the rain off, and also put smaller leaves on the soft pads of their hands and feet to protect them in thorny vegetation. Orangutan relationship with humans. Since the arrival of modern humans in the Indonesian archipelago roughly 40,000 years ago, orangutan numbers throughout Southeast Asia have been declining. Once also found on the island of Java, orangutans are extinct throughout much of their natural range today due to both hunting and habitat loss. Originally hunted for their meat, things became more sinister in the 1800s when orangutans were in higher demand from zoos around the world and infants were captured to be sold to them. Things were only made worse with the boom and the trade of exotic pets, with mother orangutans often being killed trying to prevent their young from being captured by people. The biggest threat to orangutans, though, is habitat loss in the form of deforestation for the often illegal logging of tropical timbers, and the land clearance for the ever-increasing palm oil industry. Orangutan conservation status and life today. Today, all 3 orangutan species are listed by the IUCN as animals that are severely under threat in their natural environments, with the Bornean orangutan, the Sumatran orangutan and the Tapanuli orangutan listed as critically endangered. With up to 15,000 Bornean orangutans, 5,000 Sumatran orangutans and just 800 Tapanuli orangutans thought to remain in the diminishing rainforests, the situation is only getting worse, and despite their legal protection, an estimated 5,000 orangutans are killed every year. A number of rehabilitation and reintroduction projects exist on both Borneo and Sumatra, some of which have shown success. A population of young that were confiscated from the illegal pet trade have been introduced into one of Sumatra's national parks, which have been known to be successfully breeding, with the population now totaling 70 members. If nothing continues to be done though about their dwindling habitats, it's been estimated that orangutans will be extinct from the wild within the next 10 years. Orangutan, frequently asked questions. Are orangutans herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores? Orangutans are omnivores, meaning they eat both plants and other animals. What kingdom do orangutans belong to? Orangutans belong to the kingdom Animalia. What class do orangutans belong to? Orangutans belong to the class Mammalia. What phylum do orangutans belong to? Orangutans belong to the phylum Chordata. What family do orangutans belong to? Orangutans belong to the family Hominidae. What order do orangutans belong to? Orangutans belong to the order Primates. What type of covering do orangutans have? Orangutans are covered in hair. What genus do orangutans belong to? Orangutans belong to the genus Pongo. Where do orangutans live? Orangutans live in Borneo and Sumatra. In what type of habitat do orangutans live? Orangutans live in lowland tropical forests. What are some predators of orangutans? Predators of orangutans include humans, tigers, and clouded leopards. How many babies do orangutans have? The average number of babies an orangutan has is 1. What is an interesting fact about orangutans? Orangutans share 97% of their DNA with humans. What is the scientific name for the orangutan? The scientific name for the orangutan is Pongo pygmaeus, Pongo abelii, or Pongo tapanuliensis. What is the lifespan of an orangutan? Orangutans can live for 30 to 40 years. What is a baby orangutan called? A baby orangutan is called an infant. How many species of orangutan are there? There are 3 species of orangutan. What is the biggest threat to the orangutan? The biggest threats to the orangutan are hunting and habitat loss. What is another name for the orangutan? The orangutan is also called the red ape or forest person. How many orangutans are left in the world? There are 20,000 orangutans left in the world. How fast is an orangutan? An orangutan can travel at speeds of up to 2.7 miles per hour. What is the difference between a chimpanzee and an orangutan? The main differences between orangutans and chimpanzees include their size, reproduction and lifespan, social behavior, skin, and habitat. Although the two are unique in their own ways, what's most remarkable about orangutans is their cognitive ability to understand the reason behind